Okay, hello and good evening. Here we are for MUSE Broadcast number 5, and my name is Katsura.
Hi, my name is Tal.
Hi, Tal. Thank you for joining us. And my name is Heather Muse. And we're very happy to be having this community conversation. Still working out the kinks on the technology, but that's just a work in progress, like we all are.
Totally. And would like to start off the circle, opening up the intentions on the comforts of expressing openly, honestly, and of course authentically this evening, and want to emphasize the authenticity aspect there. This will be really good to see you, by the way, Tal. It's awesome to have you joining. And definitely.
Thank you. It's great to see you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very, very excited.
Okay, so this evening we have a couple, we always start off with what MUSE means to us as well as what inspiration means to us. And so, I'll go ahead and start with that. And to me, MUSE is opening up, is a person who has the ability to inspire, and through that open up a channel and open kind of a doorway into being able to give birth to dreams, allow dreams to come into fruition. And inspiration is a life force that enhances the creativity and the vibrational frequencies, creating a more positive flow of energy. Go ahead.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
So inspiration to me, the way I experience it is emotionally. So it's several different emotions: vitality, joy, and love. And MUSE, I really am feeling drawn to the acronym that has come to me, which is Masters of Universal Service for Enlightenment. So I feel like inspiration is a part of enlightenment, and that really speaks to me right now.
I really love your acronym for MUSE. That is great. I'm gonna borrow that one if you don't mind.
Oh yeah,
I really like that.
Good.
Yeah, and I think to me inspiration is just finding everything around us that really moves us on an emotional level and just deeply moves us, and just be inspired by that to create. And create on many levels, and just to, I guess once we create, whatever we do create, just kind of share it with everyone else and spread it around, like you said, Katsura, just to kind of spread the positive vibrations and the good energy and the love.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Definitely. Okay, so we change it up a little bit each week with our different topics we do present. And we're going to try to stick with around 3. I mean, of course, it can change. It doesn't always have to be exactly 3 topics. But 3 is a powerful number and kind of a nice one to use. And for an hour of conversation, just so you know, a good amount there. And so today we're going to kind of continue upon the idea of presenting our authentic, true self to the world, and how we are able to do this, and if we were able to put any emphasis on it, how that went. And then the next question and topic to explore will be, what does it mean to be awake? We hear this term so oftenly spoken, but it's good to get different opinions and viewpoints on what people think within their own lives. And then kind of leading into mental health, stigmas that might be behind mental health, and how we can avoid falling into these stigmas, and how we can stay strong in who we are in our mental health and overall mind, body, and spiritual well-being. And finally, linking into the next, we will talk about connecting, how we most effectively are able to connect with our inner selves, our true selves, how we are able to connect with our community, those around us, friends, family, our relationships, and then finally, of course, how we can connect with higher source energy, with the universe, with God, and start from there.
Great. So can you restate the first? So first we're talking about the homework that we did from last week.
Yes, I was thinking though, because I know we only have Tall for a limited time.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that one, the final, like the third one we talked about, and we can start talking about kind of what does it mean to be awake? What does that mean?
Awake.
To us?
Yeah, and I'd love to hear Tall go first if you want to.
Sure, thank you. I guess to me, being awake, the first thing that comes to mind is really just being conscious, and just being conscious on many levels again, on a deep understanding of what's going on at a certain moment around us, what's going on within us. I think it's just it's a moment of being, becoming one with ourselves and knowing what we're going through at that moment, not being, not ignoring any signs, any just any kinds of energies that surround us at any given moment. I think that's really being awake to me.
Yeah. That's a good one. So being one with your surroundings and with everything that's
yourself.
going on with yourself.
Yeah, just really, understanding, because unfortunately it's like so many times we just kind of go through the motions of everyday life, and we're not really in the moment, we're not really awake, and we're not really realizing what we're going through at any given moment, because we're not becoming one with ourselves and really kind of, we're not really conscious of what we're going through. And sometimes it could be like very habitual, you get used to it, you just go to work, you come home, you do things, and sometimes you just don't take the time to just stop and just think about it. Think about what you're actually doing and just really being awake, at that moment.
Yeah. Thank you.
Totally. Yeah.
Thank you. So Heather, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, to me, awake means being aware. That's really what it feels like to me. And it's being aware on an emotional level and on a spiritual and energetic level. So really tapping into my subtle energy bodies and knowing where I'm at energetically and emotionally, and feeling my energy either connecting or reacting to other people or things or situations. So it's a deep awareness to me, and it's an interactive awareness. It's not just noticing, but it's feeling into it and being aware by feeling into it and interacting in that way. And it's an interesting way to go through the entire world. Like you said, we have regular habitual patterns, and the more that we feel like we're aware and we're in it and we're interacting with every single moment in our life, then it just feels it feels more substantial. Every minute of my life feels more substantial when I'm living my life in that way. And it's not that I can do that necessarily all the time, every minute of my entire day, but that is my goal. But when I recognize that I'm not in it, then that gives me opportunity to get back into it and be more aware and be more centered and to be more awake.
Absolutely, and I think it really it kind of brings to mind, the concept of not being a spectator of your life, but being a participant in your life, as opposed to just, looking from the outside. You're actually acting it. You're living it.
Very
Exactly.
one of the things you guys were saying that kind of just came into mind was, and then not like kind of just watching from a spectator view, but with everything that's going around us, sometimes it can feel like a whirlwind of life taking place. And in that life, in that whirlwind of life, instead of being a part of the chaos, and let's say around us people are feeling either overwhelmed, and instead of being so moved by these other people, we are very, once again, like how you put it, centered with who we are, where we are, there's, I was reading Paradigm for a New Handbook, just thought about this, and it talks about roles and playing roles. And we have the ability to play whatever role we choose. We are the writers of our screenplay, of our life, and that is for us to choose, and no one else. And definitely, being awake is choosing that and fully living it, being excited about it, loving it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I love sharing those little bits of wisdom and how we all come to similar conclusions in a little bit different way. And we have different ways of expressing how we experience it, too. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. And being awake, really, it has a lot to do with where we are mentally, with where we are. I mean, it's more than mentally. I think it kind of comes from the heart as well. And then within that, too, with the being mentally here, mentally present, aware, centered, with our chakras flowing in alignment, flowing harmoniously with one another. I think a big part of that is having a healthy mentality towards what we are doing in our everyday life. I know lately, especially in my life, there seems to be a lot of kind of different issues with mental health taking place. One of the big things, aspects, is the mental health industry and how it kind of is an industry. And so oftentimes medications are prescribed that I think hinder the ability to really be fully ourselves, our inspirational selves. And one of the things that recently brought up, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but they introduced the DSM-5. And come to
I don't know what that is.
Oh, the Diagnostic Systems Manual for Mental Illnesses. I think. I'm not positive if that's the actual acronym for it. But it basically talks about the list of mental illnesses that are out there and each specific one. And it's gotten to the point where there are more and more mental illnesses coming up daily, almost basically if sometimes you feel like a lack of energy for doing something, or maybe if you talk too much or you don't talk enough, like all of a sudden you have a mental illness and something is wrong.
Absolutely. I think, unfortunately, in our society, we notice we notice this on a daily basis, that everything needs to be categorized, everything needs to be labeled, and everything needs to be diagnosed, and if it's not diagnosed and slapped with a label, then, it can't be contained or whatever, it's just, and everything seems to be, the medical profession tries to just try to correct every little thing to, even normal things that, with more medications, and here's medication for this and for that. And I remember one time I was in a store and I heard, these advertisements that play, on the radio, and they were saying, do you sometimes feel tired, and do you, get sleepy at night, and do you get up in the morning and are a little, tired, and, sometimes this, and do you feel this, and and it was all like these symptoms that are totally normal, that everyone experiences. And then at the end they said, well, if you feel any of these symptoms, talk to your doctor about, such and such drug. And I was like, what? But that's just being normal, and it completely made no sense to me. And I was like, wow, that's unbelievable. So yeah, I completely
and
agree
on
with
top
you.
of it, that so many drugs just have such bad side effects, and they know this, and they're still promoting it and still selling them to families and children. And but not only that,
I could go on and on.
I know, but not only that, I believe that the best way for total health and well-being, and you know this too, Tal, is with some sort of spiritual growth or some sort of deep process of reflection for yourself, and then also with nutrition and exercise. So it really is mind, body, and soul. And when those three bodies are in alignment, then there is no illness. There's nothing wrong with the person. And so I took that concept to overcome bipolar disorder between 2000 and 2002. And after 2002, I haven't had a problem, but it's because I really focused on my nutrition and my exercise, and I did a lot of deep inner work and deep reflection for myself, and those three things together just clicked. It just worked for me. And I really wish someone out there would promote that more as a way for health and well-being and to overcome mental health issues. Instead of ask your doctor about this prescription, why not ask your doctor how you can be more healthy, or why don't you ask your nutritionist or something, you know?
Heather, you bring up a really good point, and unfortunately we live in a very lazy society for the most part, and people are much more inclined to just pop a pill as opposed to working hard like you did on themselves to better themselves. And that is hard work. Exactly. Yeah. That is really hard work, and it's consistency, and it's just being really on top of yourself, and it's a lot of people just would rather take a pill, and they don't think about the long-term effects or the side effects that this could have. They just think about the immediate gratification, because we're such an immediate gratification kind of a society, like very goal-oriented. And
well, also I think we're also being very encouraged to give up our own responsibility for taking care of ourselves. We're always encouraged to let someone else do it for you. You don't have to think about that. Let someone else do it for you. And so that's how we're brought up. We're not even brought up with the idea that we can take responsibility and be dedicated to our own selves. So yeah,
agreed.
That's another
absolutely.
Maybe next.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
That's pretty amazing. That's really incredible. I'm really awed by that you did that, and it's really it shows a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Thank you for recognizing that. I haven't talked about it a lot lately or in the past at all, but I really want to open up and share that because I think it's really good information.
You should, because it's so incredibly inspirational. You don't know who you're going to end up talking to, maybe facing the same problem and, the same issue and not, and maybe they don't know how to overcome it besides, going to a doctor and getting a prescription. So hearing you speak, even if you inspire 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 people, I mean, it's incredible. It's an amazing story. And there's so many people that are faced with that difficulty. So definitely get it out there.
Thank you so much. That's inspirational to me. Thank you.
No, I'm really inspired.
And your openness helps to open up as well. I experienced kind of similar, being told I was bipolar, and so then went and checked out and got prescribed Prozac for a while, and it only took a couple weeks, maybe a month at the most, of trying it, and I realized this is not for me at all. It was a very, very numbing feeling. And I didn't get to I didn't really truly handle my emotions and really get to see, why is this taking place? And so then I tried, not Prozac, but St. John's wort, and I did make it in my teas occasionally, kind of, use the natural herb, which helps me staying balanced in that way as well. And then also for about 4 or 5 years of my life, I experienced, bulimia/anorexia for a while. And through this was kind of the same procedures in which I know it was a big part of why I had these emotions and why I couldn't really be centered and focused and have the highs and lows, was I was focusing so much on negativity, on, I guess, things that I'm trying to control in a way unnecessarily, focusing on shallow reasons. And as I really kind of looked into myself and really told myself, like, I love you way too much to be doing this. Like, this is so silly. And through that was able to really, really just put first what is the most valuable thing to me, which is myself, my spirit, a healthy mind, body, and spirit. And in the process of remembering that importance and valuing myself and dropping all of what I think society would look at me as, dropping everything and just honestly not caring about what anybody else thinks, was really the biggest thing, I think, was just saying, you know what? This is me, this is how I am, this is how I present myself to the world. It does not matter what someone else is going to think. It doesn't matter how one person might be. It's all about who we are as a true individual, and taking that step to really, really love ourselves and put that focus into that, creating the world that we want to envision, you know, and I'd like to think we all like to envision something happy and beautiful, and within that, you know, it takes a lot of personal there. And so, yeah, it was a big aspect there. And with that, I think that's a big part of not letting other stigmas of how we need to be or being labeled by our things affect us so much. Remembering that we are not a label. That is not us at all. We are so much more than that.
Absolutely. Wow, that's really amazing. Those are some major hurdles there.
Yes.
Wow.
Overcoming though.
That's really, really inspirational. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I must admit, like, I am super proud. I'm super proud. That's one of my biggest triumphs.
You should be.
Silly. That's like something that shouldn't have like even been an issue, but it really truly is one of the biggest triumphs of my life, definitely.
No, listen, I mean, everyone has issues that they go through, and, you know, emotionally, you don't know what goes on emotionally to prompt you to do certain things, and it's amazing that, you know, you're able to be strong enough to just love yourself unconditionally and really realize that you are the most important, and, you know, that you need to overcome that for you. That's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so inspired by both of you. I'm really in awe. It's really amazing.
Thank you. So I just wanted to do a time check for you, Tal, because I know you said you had another thing to be at 7:30. Can you stay with us a little bit longer, or do you have to go?
You know something? What is the time now? Because I have to. I have to just check. Let me just check while I'm talking to you here. While you guys are talking, okay. Let me just check if this other thing.
Okay.
Hold on a second, because that's.
Katsura, so I had a question for you about your story. How would you recommend for other people to come to that? Like, you really made a decision to be completely committed to yourself. No matter what anybody else did or said or thought about you, you were totally 100% committed to yourself and your growth and your well-being. So how do you recommend that somebody gets to that point who's maybe in the middle of anorexia or bulimia or depression or bipolar or anything? How do they get themselves out of that and get to that point where they can be totally focused and committed to themselves?
I think the first and most important thing is that we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be completely honest with ourselves. For the longest time, I knew that what I was doing was unhealthy and that it was bad for me, but I kept saying, no, I don't have a problem. It's not that big of a deal. It's fine. And it was all a lie. It was a complete lie. And I was saying that because I didn't want to face this. I was comfortable. I was comfortable with this eating disorder. Like, it comforted me almost, you know? Like, that is what gave me that was a safety net. When anything got challenging or when it just seemed too much, I was like, okay, well, I know I can handle this. I know I can control either what I eat, I can control my weight, and through that, like, that was my safety. And it got to the point where I couldn't do anymore. Like, I realized, like, I came to this, first of all, I mean, I went through a couple counselors, but very short-lived. I didn't really trust the people I was talking to. I felt like it was kind of more of, I didn't feel like they truly were, wanting to get to know me. And so the first thing that helped me was I opened up to the people closest to me in my life. I opened up to those that I felt the safest with, and even some where it was kind of uncomfortable, but I knew by being open and expressing, this is what's going on. I know I'm not okay. I do need some kind of assistance. By being able to open that door, then I had support. Not only did I have support as in people like, once other people knew, I didn't want to let them down, you know? I really cared. Like, and then, I mean, this seems like I cared in a positive way about what people thought. I cared that they knew, like, they weren't worrying about my health. I cared that they weren't worrying, that they didn't, like, worry that way. And so, and it kind of helped me to check in with someone. I think having the support is a huge thing. And even pushing ourselves to not only admitting to ourselves, but other people as well. First, of course, admit to ourselves that we have a problem and there's something we need to face and overcome. The next step is going to those that we feel that comfort with, that we can open up to, whether it's a professional or whether it's our mother, father, sister, boyfriend, girlfriend, whichever it may be. And from there, staying focused. A lot of it, and beyond the staying focused, but a lot of it was just appreciating my ways and finding alternate routes in which I could feel like I was stable in what I was doing in my life. And so for me, it would be, and I'll admit that, you know, it went through quite a cycle. It went through kind of an unhealthy cycle, because then led to either excessively exercising or excessively kind of for certain events, I would be like, oh, okay, you know, I have to slim down for this. And it was like, no, it's to the point where just completely going through the phases and understanding that it takes time. I mean, I say 4 or 5 years. It was really bad for probably only 2 years. The next 3 or 4, and then the next 2 to 3 years, it was me working through it, working out of it. It was me going through my ups and downs. It was me experiencing the highs and the lows. This last year has finally been one of my cleanest, most clear years that I have experienced, and I feel more present. I feel fully me. I feel more awake, like this is who I am, and love myself for it. The most important thing is the loving ourselves through it, and just remembering that is the first and foremost of what is important, what is it being. And like, this might sound a little bit weird also, but I think like subconsciously I knew that there was this big taking place, like the 2012, the big energy, the planet alignment. I felt like there was definitely, I think subconsciously, this kind of like kicked me into gear and like thinking like, I need to prepare to be ready for all this. And for our bodies to vibrate at the best, like we need to be at our optimal like health, you know? And that doesn't mean a certain kind of, looking wise, but that just means at, overall balanced. And that really, I don't know, I feel like I prepared, like subconsciously, spiritually prepared for like everything coming now. And I think this can happen with us anytime in our life. Like, there's a moment we need to realize, like, we need to outgrow certain things. We need to outgrow things, and it's just so I think I was ready to outgrow it. I was ready to outgrow it and move forward. Oh, hey.
I was just gonna say, it sounds like you were just very, very ready, you know, and that's how you kind of mentally prepared yourself, because you were so ready.
Yes, I was so tired of this and how it weighed me down. I was ready. I was so definitely ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hi.
Well, that's awesome. I'm sorry, you guys. I really I have to run because I do have to get to this. But it was so great. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I really am looking forward to doing this again. Now, do you do this weekly? Are you going to be doing this every week?
Yes.
Awesome.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Tuesday at 7. Awesome. I'll put it on my calendar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It was great seeing you, Heather. It was great meeting you, Katura.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, she is so sweet.
She is. I love Tal. She's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm back. My computer crashed. But then my phone finished the update. So now I'm not in black and white anymore. I'm on my phone. But UFU seems to be wonderful. I think it's just my energy, and also the internet connection goes in and out, and so maybe at some point I can meet some beautiful, wise woman who can tell me what to do to ground my energy so I don't interfere with technology, because I believe that that's happening on my end.
Oh, interesting.
But Katsura, I had more, so I would like to continue this conversation, and hopefully somebody else can come on and join us at some point. I don't think we're live. I think we're going to be posting this to YouTube afterwards. Is that right?
Yes, this one is live.
Okay. So my question about the conversation that we were just having is, like, maybe do you have any ideas about how, if you notice that somebody has an issue, like if it's an eating disorder or maybe like it's a major depression or something, what can we do to help them, especially if we don't know them, you know? Like, I work with some people that I know have some issues, and I saw one girl with her eating disorder issue, and I felt really bad because there wasn't anything I could do or say. She didn't know that I saw her, but I don't know her. And it's kind of intrusive for me to be like, oh, sweetie, that's like, it's not my business, it's not my life. So what can I do in that kind of situation? I can pray for her. I sent her Reiki, but I don't know what else to do,
Well, I guess my first question is this someone who you just randomly saw, say, at a bathroom or out to dinner or wherever it may be, or is this someone you see frequently?
Well, that one was just somebody that I randomly saw, but I work with her, but there's a lot of people I work with, and so I'd never even really seen her before. And then there's another person that I work with regularly, and I'm kind of friends with her. We're coworkers, and then that one's more like a depression type thing. But so in different situations, I guess, depending on how well you know them, I guess there would be a different way to approach it or not approach it. What would your advice be on that?
Well, if it's someone that you've never met before and you just stumble across it, I think it's kind of the hardest thing to do, and they might take it any kind of direction, but I think it is good to bring light upon it. It's a really dark area, and it needs to be brought to light. And if someone is experiencing this, I think and you don't know them, but you just kind of stumble across this, I think it'd be good to just say, just maybe stop and say, I want you to know that you are absolutely beautiful. It's, from the inside. It is, and just tell them, like, feed them with love, like, and let them know that it's inner beauty that shines. It's inner beauty that really is what attracts and what holds strong relations, strong bonds. And I think that's like the first thing, if it's something you don't really know, and then offer either and then kind of let them take it anywhere. You know, we don't want to force ourselves upon people, but then you can either offer personal life coaching, which I think like would help anybody. And honestly, I am open in saying this, like you can give them my phone number, because this is one of the things I want to do is talk to women and girls who are experiencing this, because I know how hard and ugly it can be. And honestly, like give them my number, be like, I know this woman who's experienced this, and if you need someone to talk to who's been through this, and you know, it's a constant healing. Like I still to this day have to remind myself that it does not matter what my body looks like. It does not matter how things around me in the world are. The most important thing is that center and focusing on who I truly am as a being, not who this ego, this body is, but just me completely and entirely. And so I would tell her there's someone who has been through this, who is still going through it, and she would like to help you. Or not even say she'd like to help you, just to say it's someone you can talk with. And definitely just throw that out there. This is someone who understands and you can talk to. If you feel comfortable with that, and I don't mind at all. And and the first and foremost, just say you are beautiful for who you are, for your inner self. Let them know that is the number one, and that it doesn't matter how the world around sees you. The most important thing is just remind them of their inner beauty and that inner letting that show. And I want to say, like, tell them, like, love your body. You know, this isn't loving your body, but that might be a little bit too far. I guess from there, just feel it out. And if you feel comfortable, definitely. And then if it's
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So that's what I would recommend with someone who has, who you don't know, who you just kind of stumble across. And then for someone that you do know, to be most effective in helping, if you approach them just suddenly and be like, do you have a problem with anorexia, or do you have a problem with the bulimia? That's going to cause people to just be like, to get defensive and be like, no, I don't have a problem. And to them, they don't have a problem. They have this issue, but it's not a problem. It's a part of their life, you know? And so, very, very subtly bring it up. And first kind of start talking about healthy options, healthy diet, healthy ways in maintaining a healthy, balanced life. Maybe talking about the things, like I remember other people, I think they subconsciously knew, and they would tell me like secrets, like, little tidbits and extras on just a healthy lifestyle and healthy living for an overall, healthy body and still fit. Because I mean, it's one of the main aspects there. And so I think starting with that, and then once again showing that you have that you care and you want the best for them. And I think I would feel it out to really see kind of how comfortable they are with expressing about it, with talking about it, how they are with these subjects. If they completely write off what you're saying, it means they're really kind of deep in their illness and they really they don't want anything to do it. If they're more open to accepting this information, I mean, this was from my personal, how I retook it. Other people might be different. But the more they take that in, they really want to hear about this. I think it shows that they're trying to make a change right then and there. They're working on it. And then that's when it's seeking your help basically, subconsciously.
Right.
And then I think it's once again, just be open and saying hey, you say once and once again, you can, please do offer my, number to somebody to talk to, and then offer that you're natural assistance. You're a natural healer as well. And say, I do care and I want to help. And if you ever want to come over and talk, or if you want some kind of support, just say that you're there for them, And
thank you. Thank you for saying that, and thank you for inspiring me too, because that's given me a little bit of confidence in how to approach people, and when I have the confidence to approach people like that, then my natural instinct I guess I'm helping them, but I'm really wanting to see their authentic being. So my natural instinct to see their authentic being and to show that back to them really comes out.
Yes.
Sorry.
Definitely. But yeah.
And so you saying that you're inspired to help other girls, other girls and women is really inspiring to me, because I would like to do that as well. So thank you for saying that to me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I'm glad. I never even thought about that. I never thought about the need, how others want to help. Like, I mean, I should have known, but oh, yeah, and I think this just goes with any kind of issues. Other people do want to help. They want to see the best for us, whether it's depression, whatever form our depression takes. People want to help, and they want to be there, and it's good to be open to that, and as healers, to also be very, I guess, comfortable in what we're doing and in our approach with people, that we can let them know that we are there and available. That's you have such a loving heart. That's beautiful. And
thank you.
yes, that's so good to know. And also I think kind of going into the next topic, a big part of it is connecting with people, connecting with ourselves and source, which helps us for our overall balanced selves, balanced, whole selves. Spiritual,
yeah,
big body. I guess so. I would ask, how do you, I guess the techniques that you use, because you're, that to best connect with yourself, maybe passing that on, information to people as well. Because I mean, it's definitely a loss of connection when we are in this state, and we're trying to figure our way out. How do you best connect, stay connected with yourself, with your true self?
Well, so first I wanted to speak to how we become disconnected from our authentic selves. I believe I've seen that what's typical in the American family, anyway, I can't speak to other cultures, but what's typical in the American family is that from the time that we start speaking and expressing ourselves, we're encouraged not to express ourselves. And then adults are always telling children what to do and not asking them what they want to do, what they want to eat, what they want to wear. So we're actually being brainwashed at a young age to learn not to take responsibility for ourselves, not to make our own decisions, and not to have a connection with our inner wisdom and really feel into it. Oh, how do I feel? What does my body want to eat? You know, how do I want to express myself today, creatively or with what I wear or with whatever? And so that's taken away from us at an early age, probably before even kindergarten. And so we learn to operate in this way of letting others make decisions for us, not even listening to an inner wisdom, not even knowing that there's an inner wisdom there, because we've grown up not using that. So the first step in having that connection to everything, to yourself, to source, to community, is really making a reconnection, first of all. And so there has to be a dedication, a commitment to yourself to know that you deserve to be connected to everyone else. You deserve to be connected to yourself, and you deserve to listen to your own inner wisdom and know that you have a lot of power and strength and wisdom deep within yourself that you can listen to and you can count on. I think a lot of the reasons why people, especially in their teenage years, decide consciously to disconnect from people, and they hide and they close their door and they don't talk to people, a lot of times is because they've found situations in their lives where they couldn't trust people, and so they don't feel comfortable. they themselves are changing on a daily basis. All of us are. But especially, I think before age 25, it's every year you're a completely different person. And I think back to when I was in high school, and in high school, like every month I was almost a totally different person. At least I was a little bit different. Like I could really recognize that in myself. And so that's part of adolescence and growing up where the shakiness comes, where you don't really trust others, you don't really think you can trust yourself, and you don't know who you can trust, and so you tend to disconnect from everyone and everything, and you're already disconnected from yourself, and so that can put you into a tailspin, a downward spiral of depression, or however else it comes out. So I think the first thing that I want to say is, you can trust yourself, and who you are is always going to change. So however you're trusting your inner wisdom today, and whatever your inner wisdom is telling you today is not necessarily going to be your truth tomorrow or next week or next month or next year or whatever, because you're always changing and evolving. But it's important to be connected with that deep inner authentic self, so that as we're moving forward, we're completely aware of all the changes that are happening, and it's not like a blow to the face a few months or a few years down the road where you're like, whoa, I don't even know who I am, because you've been following yourself all along. You've been with yourself every day. I feel like the most important thing about meditation is just spending time with yourself, knowing what goes on in the back of your mind, because whatever's going on in your subconscious is on a loop, and that's pushing you forward into some kind of pattern or into some kind of lifestyle or into some kind of way of being, which may be good. If you have good things going on in your subconscious, that could be a really good thing for you. Or if there are things that are maybe not so constructive for you, then it's good for you to know that it's going on in your subconscious so that you can change it or release it, at least be aware of it. So I went on a little bit of a tangent there, and I'm not sure if I actually answered the question. So you can tell me if I did.
I think so. Like, plus, what I get from that is, first of all, understanding the disconnection and why it has taken place, and coming to terms with that fact, realizing that we do have somewhere where we do need to make a connection. And then, from that, I feel like it's kind of like, it's comforting. It's like, okay, well, first of all, we're not alone. I'm not alone. We're not alone in this. Many of us, probably all of us, experience some kind of disconnection and just struggle, inner battle to really find who we are, and from there really express that who we are, openly express that, be comfortable in sharing our beauty and trusting it. I feel like, is a big part of that, and that in ourselves, and it's really, you mentioned kind of like changing constantly, which is definitely so natural, such a big part of life, and I guess being accepting of that, and not being harsh on ourselves is what I would add to that. Not being too hard on ourselves for what we are experiencing. Being okay with the fact that, we're not perfect, and we are on a journey in finding ourselves and who we are and how we do connect with ourselves and with the others as well. I'd like to add a big part of that also, and I like the meditation, spending time with who we are. And it's interesting also, I was looking into a little bit of what's going on astrologically, and today the sun is in Gemini, moon is coming into Libra, and with Pluto and Uranus still squared. And I was listening to David Palmer, and right now one of the things he was talking about, I think this also kind of has a bit to do with it, is understanding sometimes that it's good to see like what is going on in our communities. How are other people feeling? What is taking place? And what else might be causing us to feel disconnected? If there's a major chaos, like recently in Oklahoma, what happened, the gun shooting about a month and a half ago, these different things, that all is going to have a different effect on us and reasons why we may feel disconnected or at dis-ease. And so it's good to pay attention what's going on in our physical world and also astronomically, and the stars, taking in all things and not putting so much pressure on ourselves, thinking like, what's wrong with me? What's going on? Why can't I just feel normal? And it's well, first of all, what's normal? I think just as long as we are giving our best and our all, then and sometimes with pain that comes into our life, it's not going to be as chipper and upbeat. I saw recently, sometimes we are the light, and sometimes we give light to others, and sometimes we need light to be given to us. But there will always be light. And it's good to remember that and not have such high expectations of ourselves, but be very loving and compassionate with ourselves. And then also, right now and currently in the phase, it's a good time to be open, express ourselves, connect with people, and a good time to build upon our relationships, but not seek these relationships to heal us, to build upon our relationships, but not look towards this to do the healing. We have to do that from within. We really need to look within ourselves, to be courageous and to take this on and ready for that next step. Let go of obsessions that keep us feeling like we're stable, but remember that we don't need different kind of obsessions. We need to trust. We need to, in ourselves, be courageous and work past that, It can be kind of like it can be a clutch. I know my eating disorder was a clutch for me. There's other forms of clutches that people use, whether it might be medications, whether it might be other ways of self-harm. And we need to just remember that this is an obsession. It's not a part of us. It doesn't define us. It doesn't make us who we are. This is just a silly obsession that is coming to our life, and we can release it. As quickly as it came in, we have the capability to say, no, you are not a part of my life. And that's actually, looking back, that's one of the things that did help me through this. I just remember is I would say, this isn't me, and more importantly emphasize like constantly affirmations, this is who I am, this is me, not this, I'm not going to do this, that is not a part of me. But it's good to stay in the positives and say, today I am going to make healthy choices. Today I am going to care for myself. I'm going to focus on healing. Today I am healed. Today I am healed. And just and like that strength. Like I like how you talked about writing things down, keeping a frequent journal is really good there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what really helped me with my bipolar disorder, because I didn't find any information out there about how to overcome bipolar disorder. I was even skeptical about that it was a disorder, or that it was whatever they were calling it. Yeah. And also it's because when I was first diagnosed, it was manic depressive, and bipolar was something different. And then a couple years later, then they combined them and said, oh, they're the same thing. And I'm like, oh, there's something fishy here. You're just making stuff up by this point. And so that's what actually prompted me to start keeping a journal. Because I was like, no, I'm not taking medication. I was anti any kind of drug. So I'm like, I'm not taking any medication, but there's obviously something wrong with me emotionally, so I'm going to figure out what it is, and we're going to fix it. And so I just started writing down. I started doing my own research, and that's why it took 2 years, because I started writing down, okay, what did I eat today? And I realized that a lot of my problem was that I wasn't eating very much at all. And then when I was eating, it wasn't necessarily vegetables or things that were that kind of healthy. And so I wasn't getting a lot of minerals to my brain. And then I did read a book about how the lack of certain minerals and vitamins affect your brain, and the emotions are the first thing that start to go down the tube when you're malnourished, actually. So it's like any kind of emotional problem is is a warning sign that your body is giving you that you're about to be very malnourished. And in your brain, not just in your whole body. And so I started writing down what I was eating every day, what kind of exercise I did, if I did any exercise, like what kind of ideas kept on coming into my head, so that I could also kind of analyze it from a therapeutic point of view, like, oh, well, there's these childhood traumas that keep on coming back to you, so that has to be related to it. And so I just brought everything into it. I wrote everything down every day, and then I realized that when I was doing more exercise, then I didn't have as many episodes of being sad or depressed. And then also when I ate better, I had more energy for more exercise. And it's like everything built on top of everything else. And it was good. And so I kept on with the pattern that worked for me. And then I was totally cured. And they say that you can't be cured from bipolar disorder. But I consider it a cure if I haven't had any issue with it since 2002. So yeah, writing down is always a good thing because you don't remember like all these little things, like what did I eat, what went through my head, how was I feeling, you know. So yes, I definitely advocate people writing and journaling and getting out like that inner authentic connection with your inner self, that you don't have to worry about anybody else reading it or seeing it or thinking anything about you. You don't even have to worry about if it came out right, because you're just writing just as it comes to you. And that's it. You don't even have to analyze it. It's just letting it out and allowing yourself to be okay with having that kind of connection with your authentic being. Yeah, I love writing.
I love hearing you say, like, you're living walking proof that, yes, there is a cure, that it's not something that is, once again, a part of us. We are not defined by this. Like, oh, it's so good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, we can cure ourselves from anything. I strongly believe that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So true. And I think it's, with that, you were talking about how they said it was one thing and then they made it into two things, and the manic depressed to the bipolar, and how it just didn't seem to fit right. And you did your own research. I really want to emphasize that for the people, to definitely do your own research. And, you know, if something is coming up in life, and look into many sources. Don't just look into the first and obvious one. I personally highly recommend more Eastern kind of herbal, traditional ways of healing and finding different routes. I strongly do not support the medical industry. I have read about how billions, and they make billions of dollars. I think $365 billion annually or more, as last I looked at some documentary. And oh, we have another person.
Oh, yay, we have someone else. Oh, you have to answer it. Oh, okay.
Awesome. Hello?
It says it's still connecting. Oh, there she is. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
My camera is separate from my screen, so I have to look over to see you guys.
Oh, that's okay. I had that too before my computer crashed. It was the same way.
Cool.
So you're fuchsia, or do you go by something else?
I don't even know. I go by lots of different things. Fuchsia works today.
Okay, good. I like that.
Yep.
Okay.
We've been talking about kind of connecting with our inner self, connecting with communities, connecting with source, and we've really been very open and talking about what we have experienced. I talked about eating disorder that I had gone through before, and one of the topics being mental illness, and how we can kind of break away from this and not not let labels define us, how to be strong, overcoming in this. And right now I was talking about, I definitely think it's really huge to look towards other forms, not just go to the first thing that we see and think like, okay, we need to be taking medications, this is what we need, this is the only way I'm going to feel better, but I really strongly would advise against that, and I would advise towards a nutritionist, finding someone who can help really seek what is that needs healing instead of kind of just sedating it, numbing it down, and then possibly having added on effects, and then getting something else prescribed. One of the things I talked about at the beginning on the DSM-5, and which actually is being, a lot of people are trying to boycott it right now, which is so good. That makes me so happy. We don't need more mental disorders out there. There's more than enough.
Wait, what is it?
The DSM-5. It's a diagnostic, either systems or statistical manual, which talks upon all the mental illnesses that there are. And it's only increased and increased in how many there are. Yeah, so definitely. And we are kind of getting towards the end, but I wanted to invite you on and we could introduce you for the next week. And you can kind of get a feel for how we do this. And so we're kind of going into, and I don't know, would you like to add anything to connecting with ourselves, connecting with communities or source energy?
Not on the spot right this second. I feel like I need to get into your guys' groove for a minute before I'm ready to fully engage.
Definitely.
It's so strange that the screen keeps like muting out your face and your sound every couple minutes.
Oh, interesting. We've been trying a different forums. We've been using Google Hangouts before. This is our first time using Ubu. And I can't hear myself. I can hear the feedback a little bit as I speak, and then it comes through.
I think that might be if me and Fuchsia mute our microphones when you talk, then maybe we wouldn't hear that.
Yeah, that could help probably. There's a mute button kind of on the lower left there.
You sound better now.
Cool. Yeah. All those little technical aspects for learning.
Also, what I've realized is if somebody has a shaky internet connection, like I do in my building here, it goes in and out kind of, then it will cause the other person's picture to go away, or like it says the camera can't be used right now or something, because it's trying to balance out the fact that the connection keeps going in and out. And so it wants to keep the conversation going. I think that's what happens with the picture. Also, I had an idea for our little, I don't know if we want to call it homework or if we want to call it inspiration work. I think inspiration work would be a good idea.
Yes, much better.
Because we had one last week. We had one last week that we were going to share for this week, what happened, and maybe we can have another inspiration work that we can do this week and we can share next week. What do you think?
Yes, I like it.
That sounds good.
Totally.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
So last week it was Millard, actually. We had the men and women together, and Millard had an idea of everybody looking at themselves in the mirror every day and saying, I recognize my authenticity and I appreciate my authenticity, and then making a conscious choice to do something more authentic to yourself that day, or to express your authenticity in a new way that day. So I did that. I definitely did the mirror thing every day, and I did intend to do a new authentic thing every day. And I don't think I did it every day because I kind of forgot about it during the day, but a couple of days I did do it. And it felt very, very freeing. It felt very, it made me almost giddy. Like, like, really? I could be myself? I can express this in this creative way? I can just do it just because it's me? That's awesome. And so that's what I did. I shared some of myself with people that I wouldn't normally share, that would normally make me nervous to be that vulnerable in front of somebody. And then I also was more creatively expressive with my dress without worrying about what other people think. They're going to be like sometimes I think, and sometimes I feel like I hear their judgment in their head when they look at me, and so I feel like, I shouldn't let myself stand out much because people judge me for it, and they get the wrong idea or the wrong impression about who I am. But this week, many days, I didn't let that stop me, and so I was ready and willing to be as authentic as possible in the way I presented myself to the world, and it felt very freeing. Just taking that action step helped me to not worry or care about what they thought as much, because I was actually doing more of my being, I guess, you know. How about you? What was it like for you?
Totally.
Oh, that's really interesting. I like that. I was just muted. But, yeah, it's really interesting, in that, cause I would say, I would wake up and I'd look at myself and be like, okay, this is me. This is my authentic self. Whether, before getting ready and just kind of waking up, and the first thing I like to do is just look in the mirror and be like, yes, awesome, this is who I am, and kind of like something useful. And so then, yeah, the focusing on letting our authentic self show, it almost was that, like, giving permission to just be out there, be real. I as well, I wasn't able to focus on something new every time. A couple things I did try to do to show that a little bit more was my authentic self aspect was write a little bit more poetry, share it with people, and then and just kind of get those out and not care like how they take it or if they understand me or not, but just be like, oh my goodness, this is like craziness going on in my mind right now. And by craziness, I mean it is a good thing. Definitely a good thing. And so it was really comforting, like it was really liberating, and I noticed like through my just being more free and just, I guess, was it doing in the being? I think so. Doing in the being. I like how you put it that, but
yeah, that's kind of what it felt like.
It was like an energy boost. It was like an energy charge of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a little extra me today, which might be a little bit extra weird, a little bit out there, but that's what I like. Definitely.
Wonderful.
Yes, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so Fuchsia, I would love to encourage you to tap into that authenticity within yourself if you feel drawn to do that this week. And just make the decision to be committed to being as much of your authentic self as possible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I like that word choice.
Me too.
Yeah.
And so I did have an idea for inspiration work for this week. We were talking about, and maybe each of us can put in a little idea if we can have 3 different pieces to it if we want to. So we were talking about being connected, staying connected to ourselves, being connected to other people, and this deep need almost to reach out and help other women and to be there for other people. And so for me, one thing that I would like to do this week is to challenge myself to reach out a little bit more, to reach out to somebody that maybe I don't know or maybe I know very little, and just let them know the beauty that I see in them, or recognize something about their authentic self that I can reflect back to them and let them know that I'm actually there for them to talk to, whether or not they choose to take me up on that, but just to reach out more. I think that's a good challenge for me this week. And I would like to invite anybody who wants to participate in that to take on that inspiration work this week and reach out and connect a little bit more.
Yes. I was thinking that, this last week we focused on our personal authenticity, and then for the next week we can look at and see the authenticity in others, and show the appreciation there, and can through that connect, and then share even more of our own selves as that. And one of the things I was thinking about was, with that, as you were talking about, was like, well, I would like to work on a little bit on relationship building, with friends, with family, and not so much that I forget about my own self, make sure that I'm at a place where I can do this, but also kind of to step out that, as I feel inclined, put that, and seeing other people's authenticity and sharing in that, build the relationship on increasing the realness of relationships within my life. I think. Yeah, that could be there.
Yeah, I really love that. Thank you for saying, bringing it back to authenticity. And I do believe that it is in alignment with a process that we're just making up right now. I mean, with our being authentic with ourselves last week was really also making that deeper connection with ourselves. And then you can go a little bit outside of yourself and you can make that connection with others by seeing the authenticity in them. So thank you for tying that back around, Katsura. I really appreciate that. I would take that on. And I wanted to give, I don't know how much time we have left, but Fuchsia, I wanted to give you a little bit of time for some input as well. Was there, did you have anything that you wanted to give input on regarding the subjects that we were talking about today?
I had a hard time hearing you guys when you were explaining it, because it keeps cutting out really bad. But, I think I'm just going to take it in today, and I would like to say I was very much practicing that authenticity all of last week already myself, and had a lot of really special experiences that helped me catch up to the state of mind that I would like to be in my comfort level with myself. So I think that it's really awesome that you guys are all in the same mindset and that we really are connected on a higher wavelength together. So also, I really was incorporating it with a brand new group of friends who I just discovered a couple weeks ago, that we all found each other and connected really well, and being able to practice having my self-confidence and authenticity in this new group of people, and now starting to branch out and connecting with them, and just having you guys say that is really, really special to have had the opportunity to hear it from people farther away from me that are in sync.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. That's really inspiring to us, because we're seeing what kind of ripples we're creating in the world. But
yeah,
doing what we're authentically inspired to do. Thank you. And it sounds like you're already caught up to us too. You've done the authenticity work, and now you're doing the connection, the authentically connecting work. It's perfect. We're all already at the right place.
I know. It feels so good to constantly be having these affirmations through myself in other beings, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. We're on such the same wavelength, like a really strong, powerful one, it feels like. I feel like the manifestation rate has really been increasing lately. And there's more of these synchronicities taking place, and we're coming together and we're meeting more and more so. It's, yeah, it really, wow, like, thank you. This has been a huge boost.
Thank you.
Totally. So, yeah, we are, I think we are, a little bit over an hour now. And so I guess we can continue being the authentic as much as we can, seeing the authenticity in others as we build those connections and let them be even more strong and continue to telepathically communicate with one another.
Yes. Yes, I love it. And we can continue the conversation on the web, we can continue the conversation on the Facebook group page, and more people can chime in who didn't get a chance to yet. We can also continue the conversation on the website. There's a forum on the website. Is the website live yet, Kessra?
Yes, they published earlier today.
Okay, so that's MUSEBroadcasting.com. And there is online radio to come. We're in the process of learning about that and getting mentorship in online radio production. And you'll be able to just keep up with that on the website as well. MUSEBroadcasting.com.
Thank you. Yes, namaste. And this has been absolutely wonderful. And Jessica, Yusha, I hope that we can see you again next week. It's really awesome connecting.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Totally.
You're welcome, and thank you. Blessings, everybody. Stay inspired, and we'll see you online, and we'll see you back here next week at 7.
Wonderful.
Cool. Okay.